patriotism and tradition is very important, and I would like to ask you about these questions. What do you think about patriotism and nations?
I think nationalism and patriotism was created as a way of replacing natural laws. And, I mean, I understand it and I appreciate it. I grew up very patriotic. I'm Armenian, and my people have struggled very much in their history with genocide and many other things, just like your people have struggled through wars and oppression and domination and occupation, as have my people. And I grew up with nationalism and very strong Armenian ethics and religion and all very important things to me. But over the years, I've realized that that's also a weakness. It's also a way of seeing things in units. Animals and nature don't see borders, but we do. They don't see time, but we do. They don't see divisions, they don't see flags. An earthquake doesn't see a flag. A hurricane doesn't see a checkpoint, So all of these things have made me realize that although they're important, they're not the most important things. Most important things is being a good human being, being a good animal on this planet in some ways. And if you can do that, then you can also be a good Pole, be a good Armenian, be a good American, be a good whatever. But if you're not a good human being, I don't give a shit what you are.
And what about ecology? Because you've started your green tour. What does it mean?
It's kind of like a twofold thing. On one hand, to me, it's personally important to minimize my ecological footprint as much as possible, as much as I'm aware, because it's just important to me to be able to minimize whatever pollution I can offset. But in the end, I don't think it's going to make the biggest difference in the world, as hypocritical as it sounds. In the end, I think we need to change the whole way that we relate to things, the whole way that we run this thing called civilization. We need to stop acting like civilization is still progressing, because it's not, it's over. And so that's really important to me. So as much as personally I try to be as ecologically green as possible, on a united level, I believe that we should change things altogether in a revolutionary manner to reflect the times that we're living in, so that, because civilization can't progress at its current rate, it's based on accelerated population rate coupled by accelerated destruction of natural resources on the planet. Civilization itself is scientifically unsustainable. So.
Are you a vegetarian?
I was vegetarian for about 10 years. I started eating fish about 6 months ago because it made me feel better. And I think I just got bored from menu choices traveling. But,
We're vegetarian.
Oh, okay, cool.
What about women? What do you think about
What about women?
Yes.
What do I think about women?
Are you feminist, maybe? Feminist?
Am I feminist?
Huh?
You have to ask my friends, I'm not sure. I don't think I'm feminist, but I don't know,
No, because I read somewhere that you said that if women have a better position, it would be better. I've heard
Oh, in society?
Yes.
Well, I just think that, if you compare indigenous times with modern times, indigenous times are more correlated with matriarchal societies, where women had more of a kind of, I don't want to say control, but more of a kind of openness to decisions having to do with society, because they were the bearers of family. Whereas if you look at modern society, it's men that are in control. And this comes from the Judeo-Christian culture in a lot of ways. But even before then, it comes from civilization itself, because civilization itself is based on agriculture. And agriculture is the man's world, the fields and all of that. You see what I mean? And that's led to a little too much testosterone with bombs and threats and war. And I think women could have a more important place in our society today, yeah.
You said that your father is an amazing vocalist. Is there any chance to hear him?
Father? Your father?
My favorite vocalist?
Father, your father. Father.
Oh, my father, I'm sorry. Lost in translation.
Okay.
Yes.
My father, my father is a good vocalist.
Is there any chance to hear him singing, however?
Yes, thank you for asking, actually. He's now, I'm helping him work on a record. He's going to be doing a record of Armenian songs, and he's working with a couple of arrangers right now and working on it. I'm going to put out his record on my label, Surgical Strike, when it's ready.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
In the future, maybe we'll hear you singing together.
Maybe, yeah. Why not? Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Remek?
And what about your next album? You said it won't be a rock record, rather jazzy with strings, pianos, acoustic guitars. Tell us something more.
Yeah, I've been talking to a symphonic orchestra actually about doing the next record, not with rock instruments, but more jazz and orchestral. I think that's more of where my music's going. I'm growing as a composer, and I've been doing songs for film, video games. I started working on composing for theater, and it's something I've been wanting to do, so that's going to be my next record, yeah.
Okay.
Aren't you afraid of Polish public?
Afraid? Why?
Yes.
You're nice.
I mean, disaster a few years ago.
Oh, it wasn't a disaster. I just, it was a very important, interesting lesson. Lesson about society, and lesson about where we were, and lesson about where Poland was historically. And that to me was really interesting, and I'm happy to be back.
But now you have very devoted fans.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no, definitely. I'm looking forward to the show very much. Yeah.
How are your relations with guys from FCC? You are rather friends or maybe just partners in work?
Guys in FCC are good friends of mine. Yeah.
Okay.
Dan actually was my engineer on the record, and he also played some instruments, and so he's one of the guitarists. Lair from Primus, I met him in '98 when System was touring with them, and he's a good friend, and I've made good friends with all the other guys, Troy and Mario and Erwin. Erwin used to play keyboards in Slow Motion Rain, a band I produced a couple of years ago for Surgical Strike. So yeah.
One question more. What do you think about public media? Because we are from public media, and there is a great discussion now in Poland about if it's possible to public media are possible or not. What do you think?
I think public media is really important for a country, for the truth of a country. You look at societies like the United States, where most of the media is privatized, and you don't have a very honest media. You have a very kind of filtered media for the audience, very corporate media. You look at England and you look at the BBC, which is public, as we know, and you have a very quality media source. In the US, we have NPR, National Public Radio. We have Pacifica Radio Network. I have a show on Pacifica myself with Tom Morello with the Axis of Justice. I think public radio is really important for the truthfulness and honesty. You look at Berlusconi in Italy and all of the media stations he owns. You look at Rupert Murdoch. Think of how media would be if it was all privatized. It would be run by these guys, and that's not what I want media to be.
Okay. Could you describe your day on tour? What are you doing?
Today was a good day because I had a couple of hours to roam around the city. So I got to see Warsaw a little. It was beautiful. First time here.
Really?
And yeah, it was beautiful. I really enjoyed it.
What have you seen?
Just the center of town. Walked around, saw some churches and buildings, and some stores and restaurants and stuff, and just got a vibe, for a couple of hours. That's important. I don't always get a chance to do that, so I'm thankful. My typical day is waking up on the bus and walking into a hotel room, doing a little exercise, taking a shower, checking my emails, doing a little work, then doing press, and then doing sound check, playing a show, having dinner, and going to the next city and doing the same thing. On tour.
And I have just one question. I heard that you want to change your style of music. You are quite bored of metal. So when I was getting into this place, I saw a person who looks like fans metal. So will it be possible to change the style of music?
First of all, I'm not bored with any style of music, but I've never been tied into any style of music. My current record is not metal, it's rock. System had some metal elements to it, definitely. And whatever I do is what I do, and whoever wants to buy it can buy it. That's just the way it goes. I'm an artist, I don't make cookies,